Well, hello everybody. This is Lisa Freeman from stampingwithlisa.com, and I've got another great video for you today. Yesterday, if you were with me, I showed you how to make this beautiful framed art that I made for my friend Melissa for her birthday. And today I've made a bunch more as gifts for some other friends that are having birthdays coming up. So I had another card that I had done before I made this. This is actually the card that gave me the inspiration for this project. So this is one of the cards from my March card kit in the mail projects. And so I wanted to show you how I made the card too, because it's similar to this, not exactly the same, but it's similar. The butterflies are the same, but I used some different designer paper from the same pack. And I wanted to just show you that. So it's not hard at all. Basically the only thing you have to do is color. So let me show you what you need. Oh, and also these are the other two cards. So I already did this card in a video a few days ago, and then I'm doing this one today, and this is the last card. It's a fun fold. So these are the three cards that come in the March card kit in the mail projects. So if you would like to get that, you can just check on my website, stampingwithlisa.com, and the details are on there. So let's get started, and let me show you exactly what you need. So we're using the paper for every season, and it's got a ton of beautiful pieces in there. I'll just kind of flip through it. They're all mixed up, so some of them are in the wrong place, but it's just a bunch of really pretty flowers, and I just think it's so pretty, and I just kind of forgot about this paper for a long time, so I dug it back out, and I've made a few cards with it lately. So this card right here that I did the other day is from that pack too. So the butterfly paper that's on this other card actually sold out the other day during the free shipping sale. So even though my card is with using that paper, you can't get it anymore, so that's a bummer. All right, and then we also are using the Butterfly Brilliance bundle. So it's the stamp set and the dies. I have cut one of my sets. I bought two of these. So I cut one apart, and I also cut the dies apart. So I cut these, the ones that were the big one, all stuck together. I cut them apart. And if you want to see how I did that, just go back on my YouTube channel. It's the one that says how to make a pop-up card. That has the directions, and I showed you how to do it, all that in there. So you need those. And then we're also using the True Love designer paper that I used on the framed art the other day. Or actually, that was just yesterday. Time is going by fast. All right, so I've almost used up all the paper from this one. So this is all I have left is these little pieces. But I just cut out the one that had the two flowers together. And I think that's actually the last one I have. Oh, yep, it is. So this paper is absolutely beautiful, though. If you haven't seen it, it's all black and white floral prints. And you can color them all different ways. I'm using the Stampin' Blends today. But you can do them with the brushes, the blending brushes. That's how I did this one. I just took the blending brushes and blended that. And then I have a couple other ones in here that are just plain colors. And then I have this one that I did in the pink and the red. And then this one is Coastal Cabana, I think, a Bermuda Bay one. So those are really fun papers. So I hope they actually stick around because they don't have colors in them, so it's not like they can retire. So let me show you everything that you need. We've got our 5.5 by 8.5 Seaside Spray, our 5.25 by 4 Designer Series paper, Flowers for Every Season. Oh, what did I say? Did I say Flowers for Every Season? I hope I did. I might have said that wrong. All right, 4.25 by 2 3/4 Misty Moonlight, 4 by 2.5 white, and then you need a scrap of white for your butterfly that you're going to stamp and cut out. And then this I've already cut out just to save time. So this is from the paper I just showed you. So that's what you need. And also a piece of ribbon. I'm using the Seaside Spray in color ribbon, which is really sparkly and pretty. I wish this color was staying. This is one of my favorite colors. This one and Misty Moonlight go so pretty together. So I hope they bring out another blue that's just like this one. And all right, let me you got a screenshot of that real quick, and then I'll take the Post-its off. Let me get my computer going with us. I can make sure I'm live. I should have done that in the beginning. But you know me, I'm an airhead. Hey Sharon, hey Debbie. All right, Michigan. How is it in Michigan? Because it's kind of cold here in Virginia. It's first day of spring, well, first official day of spring, and it was chilly and very windy out. All right, so first thing we're going to do is stamp the butterfly, and yesterday I stamped on the wrong piece of paper, so today I'm going to do it on this one. All right, so this is the butterfly that I cut out. So this was attached to all the other ones, but I cut them apart. I do have the other one whole too, so you need to get 2 of them because you don't want to ruin the other one. All right, so stamp that butterfly. This is Memento Black. And then, let's see, we're going to put some ribbon around this, and this one we have to stamp the words on. So I've got the words, Happy Birthday. I can't remember where that happy birthday came from. Like usual, it was just sitting on my table. Because I get stamps out, then I just leave them out, and then I forget where they go. And then I have to search through all the stamps. Alright, so we're just going to stamp that right there on the top. And this is Misty Moonlight. Oh, I need to keep that out because I'm going to sponge this, but I'm going to wait just a second. Alright, so I went ahead and popped out the butterfly ahead of time. So voila. It's already punched out with the die cut, and this is how I cut my die apart. And when you do it, just make sure that you sand that down a little bit with some sandpaper or a nail file or something like that, because it does leave a little sharp edge. And I used my craft and rubber scissors that we used to have a long time ago when we actually had to cut the stamps out. So we're going to color that same as we did yesterday. So I've got, let's see, Just Jade Light, Dark Seaside Spray, Light Misty Moonlight, and Light Seaside Spray. And then I have the color lifter too, because I like to use that. So I'm just going to set that aside for a second while I color this. So I start with the Just Jade and do that in the center. And I love coloring these butterflies like this. I always pick like 3 colors. You know what, I'm not actually using that one in this one, I'm just using those. And I color like 1/3 of the butterfly in each color. So I'm doing the center and the Just Jade. And if you've ever watched me before, you know I'm not one of those like really detailed coloring coloring people. I just like to do it fast. So I am not like a super duper great colorer. Is there a word called colorer? That doesn't sound right. I don't know what artist. Maybe artist. I don't know. Alright, so we're just going to get in there. Try not to go out of the lines. And just kind of bring that in about 1/3 of the way. And then do the other side. And you don't want to go like in a straight line. You kind of want to make it just look like it's not straight across. So you kind of can go in like circles or just kind of bring it down like that. So there you go. And then I'm going to take this was Light Misty Moonlight, and this is Dark Seaside Spray. So we're going to, see, these colors go so well together. They can't get rid of this one. I really wish they would just keep this one. Or do a color revamp this year. I don't know how many, it's supposed to be every 5 years. I don't remember how long it's been since the last one. Oh, you know what? I forgot to plug in my microphone. I just realized that. Hold on. I hope you guys can hear me. Hold on, I'm going to plug it in. And I forgot to do that. Sorry. Can you hear me better now? Hopefully. You're not good at coloring either, Sharon. I know. I've never been really good at coloring. I mean, I always thought I was pretty good as a kid, but these Stampin' Blends are so easy, it's really hard to mess it up. And if you do mess it up, you can always take the color lifter and just take some color off. The key is just kind of blending it all together. Kind of like when you're doing your makeup and you got your foundation and then you put some like bronzer and some blush. You just want to blend it all. All right, so now we're going to take this piece and I'm going to do my blending brush, which is one of my favorite things, and it's coming back this week. I'm so excited. And I need some scrap paper under here. So whenever you're doing this, you want to stamp off, or I mean tap off first so you don't get the big blob on there. And then just kind of swirl it around. And just do this like about 3 or 4 times and it should be good. And if you don't have these, oh my gosh, they're like a must-have thing. They are my favorite. This and the Wink of Stella. Love them. All right, so now we've got it all nice and blended on there. So we're going to put these two pieces together. And I'm just going to use my green Tombow glue. Put a little bit on there. I went to the store today and bought some Reese's peanut butter eggs, you know, the ones that come out for Easter once a year. And Reese's peanut butter cups are like my favorite thing ever. But I'm on a diet right now, so I'm not really supposed to eat them. But I don't know, Easter candy for some reason just kind of gets me. So I bought a bag and I had 5 of them. So that was really bad. So now I can't eat dinner tonight. I ate all my calories in Reese's cups. Have you guys ever done that? You just like start binge eating candy? I could only do it with a couple things. I'm not a huge candy eater, but Reese's cups and those Ghirardelli caramels, the dark chocolate salted caramels. Oh my gosh, they're so good. I could just like live on chocolate. Those two, just those two. I kind of am a chocolate snob. I like to have good chocolate. Like I don't like a Hershey's Kiss. You got to give me the Ghirardelli or the Dove. All right, so I just wrapped the ribbon around that. That's about 7 or 8 inches probably. And then we're going to put the green glue on that. Oh, my date. Deborah said, how was my date? It was interesting. He was really nice. And we went to Olive Garden. We met at Olive Garden. And since it's COVID, it's kind of funny because you can't wait in the restaurant. You have to put your name on the list, and there was a 45-minute wait, and then you go sit in the car. So you have to wait. They get your phone number, and then they text you when your table's ready. So I got there first. I went in, and I didn't know that. I put my name on the list. And so I texted him and said, you know, you have to wait in your car. So then he gets there, and I tell him, like, what kind of car I'm driving and where I'm parked. And I could see him driving around the parking lot like 18 times looking for my car. And so finally I call him. I'm like, why do you keep driving past me? And he says, I can't find you. I said, I told you exactly where I'm parked and what my license plate is, what kind of car I'm driving. So I got out of the car and stood there until he came over. And he goes, my car is dark blue. Now my car is exactly this color. It's called Midnight Blue. It's like identical to this color. And he said, that's not a blue car, that's a teal color car. I was like, you must be colorblind because my car is not teal, it is dark blue. And he's like, well, I couldn't find it because I was looking for blue and that's not blue. I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, our table is ready and we go in, sit down, and he tells the waitress he wants a fresh pot of coffee. Like he says, can you go make me a fresh pot of coffee and make sure it's really good and fresh and bring me a lot of cream. And she just looks at him like, yeah, buddy, whatever. Because I don't think they're going to make him a whole pot of coffee for himself. So I'm just like, okay, this guy's a little bit on the strange side. But we'll just stay here for a little while and see what happens. But the whole dinner, he did every single thing that she brought was not good enough. And he wanted to send it back. And I was just like... So the coffee came. He said it was terrible. He sent it back. I was just like, okay. And he had hand sanitizer sitting there, and he did the hand sanitizer like every 5 minutes. He was sanitizing his hands. And I thought, okay, I'm a germaphobe, but this guy's like over the top germaphobe. You know what? I put that ribbon too high, but that's okay. This is going to sit like right on top of it. So... Anyway, we're sitting there, and the whole time I'm thinking, okay, you're never getting a second date with me, buddy, because you're a little weird. And he was talking about how he goes and gets manicures and pedicures all the time, and I'm like, okay, I've never dated a guy who does that. All right, make sure if you make this card, the ribbon needs to go down just a little bit, because I did it too high, but that's okay. So, oh, now I got to color the flowers. I'll put the butterfly on, though. So, dinner was not, like, super great. But he wants to go out again, and I really don't. Because I don't think he's too much my type. He talked about, like, cleaning and doing laundry. And his favorite thing to do is ironing. So I don't know. It's not looking like another date. So that was my evening last night. All right, so let's color this real fast. So first I'm going to do the leaves, and you're just going to color that with the lighter color first. And see, I'm just coloring like super quick. And then just take the smaller tip of this one and like the fine point one and just kind of color those little lines. This is what I love about the Stampin' Up! Images. A lot of times they have these dark areas, so you know exactly where to put like the darker color. So you don't even really have to think about it. You don't have to do any shading because there's always that already done for you. So then I'm going back over with the light to just blend it in, and that'll dry in just a second. Then I'm going to take the darker blue, and this is the Misty Moonlight one, and I'm just going to color the center, and then I'm just going to bring it out a little bit where these black lines are. I'm going to bring it out and then blend that with the next color. So do that on both of them. In the center, I just kind of color that in real quick. So that was definitely a very interesting date. I don't know, as soon as he ordered that coffee, I was just like, oh my God. You could tell the waitress was just like, really? You know, she just went and poured that coffee right out of the pot in the back. She didn't make it fresh. That just cracked me up so bad. All right, so I'm just coloring this with this. Make sure you use the side of your blend because you don't want to ruin your tip. Although I've been using this so much lately that my tip is starting to dry out a little bit because I've used it like every day for the last few weeks, I think. They do last pretty long, but you know, after you use them about 100 times, they will start to dry out and you have to get a new one. All right, so that's that for a minute. And then I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to use the bullet tip again and just bring those darker ones that I just did, bring them out a little bit more. So I'm just kind of scribbling on here really and trying to blend that dark color in so it gets a little bit lighter. So just I'm going right over top of the dark one with the medium. We don't really have light, medium, dark, but I've got 3 colors. So I've got the Misty Moonlight light and then the Seaside Spray light and dark. So that gives me my light, medium, and dark color. So I like to use 3 colors at a time. All right, so get that good and blended. And then I'm going to take the light one again and just go over the whole thing. You know what? I think I want to put some more in here, like out farther. So I'm just going to put some all over these little black lines. And if you ever have, I mean, you don't want to put too much ink, but if you do ever have too much, you can always take that color lifter and take some off, which is what I usually do. All right, so now I'm going to go back over it again with the light one. And it does dry lighter, so it's not going to be this dark when I finish. And I like to leave some little pieces kind of light, almost white looking. All right, so that's almost it, but I'm going to go over with the color lifter and just take a little bit of color off. And that'll give it a really pretty look too. So just kind of take a little bit of color off all the way around. And we'll let that dry for a minute. All right, so then we're going to put that on with dimensionals. And I like to cut mine in half sometimes and use more and all over the place. Thanks, Sharon. Margaret says, he'll make a nice wife to somebody. That's exactly what I thought. I thought, I don't know. Then he said he takes 2 showers a day. I mean, he's like obsessive, compulsive, clean freak is what he is. And then he was complaining about his water bill. And I'm like, well, dang, if you take 2 showers a day, you probably wash your hands 800 times a day. I guess you are going to use a lot of water. All right, so we're going to stick that up here. It's a little bit higher than it should be, but that ribbon is too high, but I can't take it off now. All right, so then I've got some pearls here, and I've colored them with the Misty Moonlight. right there. So I just took this and you just color it. Boom, takes 1 second. So super easy. And then I'm gonna put these all over. So I'll put one here and one here. And let's do one at the top. Over there. All right, then we're gonna take the little one. I'm gonna use the ones that are dry. It takes a minute for them to dry. Not really a minute, maybe like 30 seconds. I just don't want to smear it. And I love to put these pearls in the middle. That's what I forgot to do yesterday. I didn't bring them in here to put them on the framed art piece. All right, so that's almost done. And then we're going to take the Wink of Stella. Got to add some sparkle. So just put some Wink of Stella right over top of where those lines come out like that. And some in the middle. Do your leaves. Oh my gosh, I wish you could see this close up. It's so pretty. One of my friends, Lori, the other day, when she saw that framed art, she goes, wow, you've come a long way. I've been a demonstrator for 20 years, and I can tell you that probably the first 10 years, I was really not that good. I mean, I pretty much had to copy everything off of somewhere, a magazine or somebody else, or we didn't have Pinterest back then. But I just couldn't think of ideas. I'd sit there all day trying to come up with the idea for a card, but now I actually can do it. It's like all of a sudden my creative juices just started flowing. So I've gotten a lot better over the years, and those of you who are watching that are my customers know that. But now it's like all of a sudden I can sit down and come up with something without having to copy anybody. But you guys are welcome to copy me, because that is so flattering if you guys love my stuff and copy it. All right, so hopefully you can see that sparkle on there. I'm gonna pop these wings up a little bit. So it's got sparkle all over and it's so pretty. And we gotta do some shimmer spray too. All right, so if you haven't seen my videos before, I do this all the time. It's alcohol, 70% alcohol. You fill it up about this far, and you take the champagne shimmer paint, which is this champagne mist, and you just pour a little bit in, like 1 second, and then you shake it up. And I have a little BB in there to kind of, like nail polish. You gotta have something to help mix it up. And then just spritz it on, let it dry for a minute, and then it'll be super sparkly. All right, so that is it. So if you guys like anything you see today and want to order it, just go to my website, stampingwithlisa.com, and hit the shopping button. And make sure you check for Lisa Freeman. That's my name. There's lots of Lisas that are demonstrators, so a lot of us have similar websites. So make sure you got Stamping with Lisa, because there's somebody else who has, without the G, exactly the same website, but no G. So double check for that. And thank you so much for watching today. Hey, Diane. You just get on here. And thank you, Deborah. Oh, you guys are so sweet. So give me a heart, thumbs up if you like it. And if you're on YouTube or here, just leave a comment and I will be giving this card away to one lucky winner. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure if you're on YouTube, you hit the subscribe button and like, share the video, leave a comment so you can win the card. And I will see you guys probably in the next couple days with this card. So stay tuned for that. And you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.